Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
Good evening everybody, and welcome to the Sim Experience IBF USA GT3 World Series Round 9, coming to you live from SEBRING International Circuit in Florida, United States of America. Of course, is the 9th round of our 10 round championship, so the penultimate round. I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell. Unfortunately, Sean Woodgate is not joining us tonight. He unfortunately is in hospital at the moment, so all our wishes go out to Sean. Hopefully he has a fast recovery. So tonight is one of the tracks I've been looking forward to the most. This is probably the bumpiest circuit, maybe even in the world, but certainly the final corner is regarded as one of the bumpiest corners in racing. It certainly creates a challenge for the drivers, and I personally love it. Hopefully the drivers will enjoy it. It's a very open circuit. It's one of the circuits, like most circuits in the world, that have evolved from an airfield. So there's actually still an airport around Sebring. We do see some planes around. In the background you can actually see a plane to the right. That is a plane. There was a plane there. It has now changed. So some interesting names for the corners. So turn 1 has no name. Turn 2 is more like a sweep. Turn 3 also no name. Turn 4 is a sweep. Turn 5 is another no name. Then there's a long sweeping turn 6, which is called Big Bend. It's quite an interesting name. Then we go down to probably the tightest corner on the circuit, which is just called Hairpin, which is turn 7. Between turn 8 and 9, they're both sweeps. That little short straight is called Fangio. Turn 10 is a pretty tight right-hander, also no name. Then turn 11 is a sweeping left, which you'll see the drivers as they go from that into 12 and 13, they'll use the limits of the track a lot, but that's called Collier. 12 and 13, then 13 goes onto a back straight, which is called Tower. Then they'll go through Bishop, which is like a fast chicane, which is turns 14. 15, another one without a name. Then it goes into Lamar Corner, which is one of my favorite corners on the circuit. The way that you can go over the curbs, cut back, and give a really nice, decent exit to get down the Allman Straight towards the final corner, which is probably the most dangerous corner on the track, called Sunset Bend. That's where we'll have all the amazing bumps that the guys have to navigate. Of course, the guys that have motion rings will feel it a lot more than the others. Alright, so this of course is round 9 from Sebring. We'll be following this up with the final round next week from the Monza Grand Prix circuit. So that'll be a totally different circuit to this. That'll be fast and flowing. Just to look at our point system. Sprint race, the leader gets 20 points. In feature race, the leader will get 40 points. And the points, you'll see the difference there per races. You get 1 point for pole position. You get 1 point for the fastest lap in each race. Our top 3 for our pro division, we have Jason Underwood, we have Chris Collison, and Gerrit Bierkes. In the veterans class, we have Marius van Wyk, Andre Hildebrandt, and Harvey Goos. In our overall standings, the points overall, we have Jason Underwood in first, 366, Chris Collison in second on 320, and Gerrit Bierkes in third on 278. And for the rest of the field, we have Jean Vertoy, still close in contention for the top 3 position. We have Adrian Nel, I don't know if he's here yet tonight. But also a strong contention for the top 3 in the championship. Stanton also another one in top contention. And then there's a small gap to Sean Olivier. I'm not sure, but he might still have a chance of getting a top 3. Jan-Red Dippenaar won't be racing tonight, unfortunately. And he I know has a motion rig, so he would have, I'm sure, felt the bumps of this track. Julian Brains, Timo Smit, Richard Cellier, Peter Geldenhuys, Sean Johnson, Rian van der Westhuizen, Andre Besson, Peter Murray, Dani Stander, and Marius van Wyk make up the top 18, almost said top 11. Our team standings, we still have Team Harder Racing leading from Midnight Code, Fach Auto, Tech Esports, PZN Panel Beaters, BP Racing, Thorax Racing, PZN Racing, Team High Revolution Racing, PZN Wild Mech Racing, Minions Racing, Team Full Throttle, Sim Experience SA, GDR Racing, SRC Motorsport, and 15th place IBFUSA. I believe the drivers are about to go out, so we will head to the track in a moment. Just waiting for everyone to head on track. I think they're just between sessions, so they're about to go live for qualifying. In fact, I believe they have gone live at the moment. I'm just waiting to see what is happening before I jump to live feed. Alright, let's jump to a live feed. Alright, so we are now live. We're on board with Chris Collison as he pulls out of the pits so we can see what the pits look like. You can see straight away there's a bump that they hit a little dip there. To stay wide here. Feedback into the track. That is of course crossing over onto the racing line, so you have to be careful if you're coming out of the pits and there's a car on track. A few bumps going into the turn here. You can use a bit of the curb, but those curbs are quite high. Go wide here, take a late apex, gives you a bit of drive down the straight. You keep it nice to the right here, so that you take the straightest line, heading down to the hairpin. Oh, sorry, it's tower, heading down to tower. I believe that this is now turn 13 tower. Might be getting my corners mixed up, in fact I believe I am. I believe that was hairpin that we had gone through. Right, now going through Fangio, sweep, heading down to turn 10, which is quite a nice turn. You can actually take a lot of exit curb here as well. Straight line it here. Some drivers will keep to the right through that sweep, others will straight line it. I'm one of the drivers that would straight line it. Here you can also have a lot of exit curb. And then you get into the fast sweeping S's, which is I think my favorite part of the track. Because you can use a lot of curb, but too much curb and things can go wrong. Here you can go very far over to the left. Just not doing that on this lap, and once again over the curb a lot, which will help you get good exit speed. And then you'll head down to the final corner, which is known as Sunset Bend, which is the bumpy corner, which you should see from the onboard shot as you turn in. It's a double apex corner for most drivers. That's how some take it as a late apex. Just takes it straightened up slightly there, hit the bumps. Here come the big bumps here, boom 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 there. So the guys with the motion ring will feel that. You'll feel the suspension soaking up all the bumps. Right, and that is an outlap with Chris Collison. So let's see how the lap times are starting to unfold. Let's get our live timings up. I feel a little bit lost without Sean with us tonight, so hopefully Sean is with us in spirit. As you see, Chris Collison, sector 1. Of course, all the drivers currently on soft tyres, apart from Garrett, who was in the pits. We couldn't see his tyre choice, but he's just exited the pits. If there's anyone in YouTube, can just let me know if everything is going smoothly. Hopefully everything is all good. We have Yandre there. Good to see Yandre there, and Adrian as well. Pity that Adrian's in the comments. Good to see Adrian back on track. I'm not sure, is Adrian on track? I don't think so. I don't see Adrian on track. So 23 drivers on circuit at the moment. Chris, fastest overall, first and second sector. Let's see how this next sector pans out. It might give us a good indication of lap times to chase. Fastest time we had seen on the server up until qualifying, I believe, was a 1:59.8 set by Chris. We had a 1:59.8. We had a 1:59.9 set by Garrett. So those were the two fastest times. We're hoping to have Jason join us later on as well. Whether he makes it for the sprint race or only for the feature race, we are not sure. As we see Chris bouncing over the bumps. Here we go. Timo has already a 2:08, and Chris takes provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. So now the lap times are starting to come in. Of course, we have Timo joining us again tonight after missing 2 rounds. Good to have Timo back. Currently in second position. Sean Olafia jumping up to third place at the moment. The lap times are coming in thick and fast at the moment. See how his first sector pans out. Oh, a bit sideways there. No, not the greatest first sector. Have a look at Dean Ash, currently starting a lap, heading into sector 1. He has, I believe that's Sean Olafia in front of him. I'm not sure if Sean is cruising. He looks like he's going a bit slow. And just up ahead of them we have Hilke Verenica. Sean moving over, so yes, definitely cruising. It's just on an outlap. Jean-Louis de Toy has jumped up into second place, so 1/10 shy of Chris Collison, so only 2/10 covering the top 3. See how Dean Ash's sector 1, his personal best, but over a second shy at the moment. Let's have a look at Julian Brains, also been showing some form in the last few rounds. Unfortunately has a grid drop penalty for this round, but I'm sure you'll make it up in feature race. Nice clean lines there, just staying off the curb. Right, hard on the brakes. You see the front of the car dipping down. I'm not sure how soft the guys will be making their suspension for the bumps, but the car looks quite firm. The front seems a bit softer than the rear, the way it squats a bit, but the way it's bouncing on the curve, I think he's got his car set up quite firm as he's behind his teammate. I'm not sure if his teammate Vessel is on a fast lap or not. Julian on personal best, so Vessel does move out of the way for him. So airplanes in the background there. Right, does he get a nice clean exit? Could have used a bit more curb there. Oh, we see Vessel in the background going off. Front we have Rian van der Westhuizen and Sean Olafia. I believe they'll be heading out onto flying laps now, so they won't hold Julian up, I don't think, unless they make a mistake in the final turn, which is always a possibility with that big bump there. Right, almost 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 40 odd seconds to go. We see a yellow sector in sector 1, and Julian is up to 8th place. We have Stanton Augustus joining us again after his successes in the endurance series that they've been running in, which is the GES series, I believe. Perhaps if I'm incorrect, Yandre, you're in the comments, you could just correct me on that, as you were teammates with them. Well, in a different car, I believe, but same series. Right, final turn. Watch the wall on the exit. Fastest in the first sector, and it jumps up to, fastest in the middle sector, jumps up to second place. Good final sector, and a fastest overall in the middle sector for Stanton. Of course, just up in front of him, we have Jandre, who's just started a lap. He's been demoted down to 4th place. Let's see how this lap unfolds. So we have Gerrit Bierkes currently sitting in 1st place. He's jumped up to 1st. Timo Smit is now demoted down to 5th place. Right, how does this sector pan out for Jandre? Let's see, is he going to improve? A little bit of dust there, that's fine. Fastest overall by 2/10 in the first sector, so this is going to be hopefully a 1:59.1 possibly. So we'll stay on board, perhaps let's go on board with a lap here. Keep it nice and tight. Opening up the corner nicely there. Just the right amount of curb. Could have turned in a fraction earlier there, but I think we're all good. Can sometimes just hop the curb on the exit there so that you can get a straighter line through, but he's choosing not to do that. Comes in nice and early there. Good amount of curb. Some early turn in there. Good on the exit as well. That should be a nice clean exit. Good top end down the straight here, but he's lost a fraction in the middle, only by 0.002. So still on for a good lap then. In early for the first apex. Oh, a bit wide for the second, missing it. As he wanted to bring the car back, he hit the bump, and that just unfortunately pushed him slightly wide. But will he improve? From 4th place, he's up to 2nd place. So still good final sector. Alright, how are the other drivers doing? So we have Wayne in 11th place, just starting a lap. Thought he might be finishing up, but just starting a lap. I think the Mercedes might go quite well over the bumps. The Mercedes is notorious for doing bumps a lot better than some of the cars. I think it's primarily because of its weight. It just absorbs the bumps better, as does the Corvette. Looks nice and stable through there. So currently in 1st place, Gerrit Bierkes is 0.096 ahead of Jean-Louis Dutour, and in 3rd place, Stanton Augustus. Chris Collison has just jumped up to 1st on a 59.9. So that changes the ball game a little bit. Personal best for Wayne, so Wayne's hopefully going to improve. Actually, we can just jump around to some of the other drivers as well. Of course, we have Jean-Louis Dutour back on track. He's had his upgrade. Got new hardware, so as a result has had to change cars, so we don't see him in his usual car. As Sean would refer to him as the Boeing Brigade, he's no longer in his Boeing car. That car didn't work with his new hardware, so he's had to change cars. That's why I've permitted a car change. It seems to be going quite strong in the Porsche, so perhaps the Porsche suits him. Currently in 15th place. The lap times in the week he definitely showed more pace, so maybe just not quite getting it together now. We'll see as the race unfolds. We see, I believe it's Gerrit coming out on track. Let's look at some of our other drivers. Right, the sole McLaren tonight, Sean Johnson, seemingly going quite strong as well in the practice times, been in the just shy of the top 10, so that's pretty good on pace. McLaren does sound fantastic. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem to have the pace at some tracks. It does suit some tracks better than others, and it seems to be going fairly well at this track. So whatever Sean's done, it's working. I'm not sure if his setup is just working better here than what it did at other tracks, or maybe it's the car that's just better, or maybe he just likes this track more, but Sean's been showing good pace. Nice and smooth over the curbs there, taking just the right amount. Leisurely on the exit of that one. Unfortunately, he could have used more, as we see Timo in the background using all the curb. Let's see, Timo seems to be on an out lap, so pushing quite hard on an out lap. Right, let's see if Sean can get hits the bump, gets it in nice to the apex, so nicely done there. Nice and wide, just stays away from the wall. And stays in 12th place. So let's watch Timo. Timo now with just under 2 minutes to go, starting a flying lap. One of the top drivers, so let's see if he can challenge. Right, hitting the bumps, you can see the car bouncing over the bumps. Good exit there. The flames coming out the exhaust as he shifts down. So if the curb turns in, nice late apex there. See the car drifting, actually missed the apex slightly. See if we can get a personal best sector 1. 2 seconds to go before the end of sector 1. See how the car moves around on the brakes as you're braking, the front end bouncing around a little bit. We don't see that on most of the tracks. We won't see that at Monza, that's for sure, because Monza is very, very smooth. It does have a personal best in sector 1. So still a 10th and a half shy of the overall time, but that will hopefully still put him in contention for a podium position. Let's see how the rest of the lap pans out. The car's looking fairly good, apart from the front end moving under the brakes. See the back squatting quite a lot as it's bouncing there. Nice fast sweeping lines there. Oh, a bit wide there. I think he lost a little bit of speed there. Oh, and definitely lost it there and into the wall. So that didn't go quite to plan. Sean Olivier starting a lap. Let's see how Sean's lap pans out. Let's see. I think he's the last driver, possibly one behind, to cross the line before the qualifying time has ended. So the driver's on laps now. That's it. Currently we have Sean sitting in 6th place. Let's see if he can improve. Chris Collison, I believe, is in the pits. Jean de Toy is on the fastest overall first sector, so we're going to jump to this. Let's see, can he snatch pole position from Chris? Chris is now in the pits. He can't respond. Jean-Andre currently in 2nd place by 0.049 and up in sector 1 with the fastest overall in sector 1. A little bit of grass on the exit there, but I think he might have been okay. Oh, a little bit of a glitch as someone, I think, rejoins the server. I think it was Wayne. Nice amount of curb there. Nice sweeping line, keeping up momentum in the corner. Good exit there. Using his maximum amount of curb without getting on the grass. Right, as he heads down to the final turn, he's slightly off the pace in the middle sector, but he could still make it up in the final turn. See the car bottoming out, a bit of sparks coming off the car there. Bit of rotation as the back end coming around. Then you got the car to rotate really nicely there. Good clean exit. Will he improve? He does. He takes pole position, fastest overall in the final sector. Excellent. Donovan Mark, I think, is the last driver on a lap. Let's see, Donovan not on a personal best, but currently in 11th place. He might still be able to improve. Let's see how he does the final corner, turns in, takes a wide line, brings it back. Seems to be content over the bumps like that. Let's see, how does he improve from 11th place? It's the fastest personal time in the last sector, but does not improve. Alright, we're going to jump to an ad break. We'll be back shortly.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, We specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We are now live for the Sim Experience IBFUSA GT3 World Series Round 9, coming to you live from SEBRING International Raceway in Florida, United States of America. This is for the sprint race. It's a 6-lap sprint race. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell. I'm alone tonight, but Sean Woodgate is with us in spirit. Wishing Sean well, and hopefully he can join us for the next round. Otherwise, the rounds after that, whatever races will be after that, which will be the Porsche Super Cup we'll be doing. I'm not sure what the tracks will be and when it will be starting. That has yet to be announced. And for our schedules, for those that aren't aware, this is the penultimate round. It is round 9 from Sebring, the full Sebring circuit. Then we'll be heading over to Monza in Italy for a fast, smooth track. For the final round of the GT3 IBFUSA GT3 series, the World Series. Just to look at our standings. In our Pro Series, we have Jason Underwood in first from Chris Collison and Gerrit Bierkes. In the veteran class, Maurice van Wyk from Andre Hildebrandt and Javi Goos. In our standings overall, we have Jason Underwood on 366 points, Chris Collison on 320 points, Gerrit Bierkes on 278 points. While we look at our other drivers, I will go through it fairly quickly, just so that we don't stand here too long as we watch all the drivers going past. I'll let you guys pause that if you need to. We can just have a quick look at our team standings. We still have Team Harder Racing. I think they're pretty much unbeatable at the moment. In first place from Midnight Code, Auto Tech Esport, and the rest. You guys can, I'm sure, pause and go through that. So let's have a look at our starting order. So starting in, I was about to say starting in pole position and then I hit the wrong button. John Vertoy in first place, Chris Collison in second place, Gerrit Bierkes in third place, and Stanton Augustus in fourth place. In fifth place, Timo Smith, Sean Olivier in sixth place, seventh place, Antonio De Lima, eighth place, Peter Geldernees. In ninth place, Wayne Kruger. In 10th place, Donovan Vermaak. In 11th place, Sean Johnson. In 12th place, Dinesh Singh. In 13th place, Donnie Stander. In 14th place, Maurice van Wyk. In 15th place, René Dutoy. In 16th place, Andre Hildebrandt. Apologies for the wrong track name on the top right. This is definitely not Montreal. Rudy van der Westhuizen in 17th, Javi Goos 18th, Julian Brains 19th, and Hilke Verenigde 20th. In 21st place, Rian van der Westhuizen, 22nd, Stan Bezuidenhout, in 23rd, Wessel Viljoen. Alright, so now the drivers will follow the safety car. The agreed upon procedure, as we found it works best, is drivers, the safety car will peel in as we come into the final, out of the final turn, the safety car will peel into the pits. The drivers are usually then allowed to go. I'm not sure why the track is looking a little bit wet, but it's a bit odd. The drivers are then allowed to go, although we've told them to stay in position until after turn 1. So that should be where the drivers will then put their foot down, and everything will go, and that'll keep everyone in place without getting any issues with penalties and things. So that should be the way we go. Right, I'm just going to see what's happening. I'm not sure why the track is showing as wet. Definitely should not be wet. It won't be wet for the rest of the round, that is for sure. As we see the drivers and the track, everything getting ready to go. The track's not getting ready to go, drivers getting ready to go, safety car getting ready to pull in.
Green flag, go, go, go!
Alright, and we have a green flag where the drivers will stay in position. They will now keep position until they get round here. The race is officially on. This is just a gentleman's agreement to try and eliminate any issues. It looks like everything is good. Alright, we now have a green flag. So I'm going to unfortunately getting onto the dirt there. I think that might have been Timo. In fact, it was Timo Smith, unfortunately, heading onto the dirt. I'm not sure what happened to Timo there. A couple of cars heading wide. Oh, one of the Ferraris hitting the barrier there and spinning off. So a bit of commotion going on there. I'm not sure if that's caused by the issues with Timo. Maybe just getting some drivers unsighted. But we are now away. Just chasing down Jandre. Oh, Jandre running slightly wide. Will Chris come past? Oh, a little bit of contact. Looks like the drivers are struggling slightly. I'm not sure if that's because the track is slightly damp. But Jandre now pulling in behind Chris. And in third place we have Tony De Lima. So Tony having a good start. Ooh, and we see Jandre now going past Chris. Chris now making a mistake on the brakes. I think it's definitely some track conditions catching the guys out. Shouldn't be wet. I'm surprised it's wet. It's supposed to be a completely dry race. But perhaps something has confused it and it's decided to give us a bit of rain. Alright, so let's just make sure everything is good. As you watch Tony, just looks like he's being a bit cautious on the curbs. Right, so a bit of a gap opening up now between first and second. First and second still right together at the moment. So the track, I'm sure, will dry very, very quickly. Looks like there might have just been a slight sprinkle of rain between qualifying and the race. Definitely drying up. So we see the cars moving around a lot on the wet track. So let's go further back in the field. We have Sean Olivier in fourth place. So 5 laps officially remaining. Right behind we have Stanton Augustus, who's now being chased down by Timo Smith. So Timo's slowly coming back through the field, so whatever happened, he seems to have regrouped. He's got Gerrit Bierkes right behind him as well, so Gerrit hunting down Timo. Oh, Gerrit getting slightly loose there. Looks like the weather is definitely playing a bit of a part here. Something not like it should be. It's supposed to be sunny weather. Alright then, so let's go on board with Timo. Sorry, I'm getting a bit thrown by the weather and a bit confused. I was expecting sunny conditions. Alright, so we have Timo squatting the car on the brakes there. Close to the apex there. Alright, a little bit of dirt. That was nice and clean. We can get our tower up and running now in our driver box so we can see all the information we need to see about who's who and where everyone is. So some of the drivers actually in the sprint race not using the softest tyre, which is quite a surprise. Some of them on the medium tyre, quite a few actually, including our race leader. So Timo now coming under threat. Once again we see Gerrit getting a bit loose there. So let's go further back. We have Sean Johnson, excellent 8th position, so he made up a few places already. Right behind him, Wayne Kruger having a great start to the race. Had a few issues between the races, but right now he's in the race. He's currently in 9th place. I think that would be his highest finish if he were to finish there. He hasn't finished in the top 10, I don't believe. So that's a great result so far. Right behind him we have Julian Brains. Julian, I'm sure, will be doing his best to catch Wayne. Wayne is not at a top 10, but Julian's had, I think, 2 top 10s in the last rounds. So Julian definitely the driver on form at the moment, moving forward. Currently in 10th place. A new fastest lap now popping up for Jean-Louis du Toit. In 11th place we have Donnie Stunder. Another one of the Mercs, one of only 2 Mercs. Right behind we have Morris and Vake. So Morris, having started further back in the field, has definitely progressed. Having a good start. See his lights blazing there. Another driver having a good start, Hilke. So Hilke's up to 13th place, having a good start as well, having kept the car on track, avoided all the issues. So that's a good start for Hilke. Good to see Hilke driving again as well. Having made the last race and this race, and now seems to be showing some good form tonight. And right behind him we have our title sponsor, Stan Bezuidenhout. Of course, is IBFUSA. If you have any car crash investigation requirements, you can get hold of Stan Bezuidenhout. He's the person to speak to. This is, of course, his line of work, as he has a look up the inside of Hilke there. Hilke seeing him coming, giving him the space, and that's Stan through up to 13th place. And just behind Hilke, we see their teammate now. We have Vinash Singh and the other IBF USA Ferrari. Apparently the Ferraris are quick around here. That's the rumor that we've been told. Alright, so let's go back to the front and see what's happening at the front. We have a 4/10. Looks like that's closed down slightly. I was going to say a 4/10 of a second gap, but that looks a fraction smaller at the moment. Let's just see, what is the official time at the moment? Because it looks closer. It is actually 5/10, so it's actually bigger. Perhaps the speed that they're traveling at. So the track does look like it's drying. So we should have a perfectly dry race for the feature race. Oh, Jean-Andre getting the rear end out there. We see Harvey spinning as well. He's actually gone into the pit lane almost. Alright, fastest lap time there for Chris Collison, chasing down Jean-Andre du Toit. He has him in his sights. I think Chris has also got the championship in his sights. With Jason not being here for this race, he can definitely grab enough points to take the lead. As it is, of course, if Jean-Andre doesn't give him too much grief. But it looks like it's between the two of them at the moment. And I think Antonio has fallen back. He's almost in the hands now, on the clutches of Sean Olivier, who runs slightly wide. And we've got Stanton Augustus right behind him, and Timo Smith also looking at them now. So Timo having a perfect view of Stanton challenging Sean, Sean going defensive. Realizing Stanton's a bit too far back, takes the racing line again. Just on the curb there, they're all getting onto the grass, so I guess they're confident that the track has dried up enough. Still a bit of cloud cover though. More cloud cover than I was expecting. Right, let's see, do they all take curve there? Oh, I think the track is dried up enough for the drivers to be confident with the grip levels. So Stanton currently in 5th place. Oh, in the background, I think that's Carrot's getting a bit loose there. There's some different lines there. Some of the drivers running a bit deep on the brakes. Nice battle here between Stanton Augustus, Timo Smith and Carrot Bierkes. Now Carrot all over the back of Timo. Timo was looking like the one challenging Stanton, then Sean actually pulled away slightly. Oh, as we see Carrot getting a bit loose there. Sean pulled away slightly from Stanton, so now Sean is actually the one challenging someone else. And Sean, I believe, is challenging Antonio at the moment. So we can have a look at that now. Right up behind Antonio now. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? He's got the drive, I think. He's going around the outside, which you can do into turn 1. You can take the wider line, and then you'll hopefully get a bit more drive if the driver gives space. Ooh, there's lots of space being given. He's trying around the outside. He's ahead, but he's going to take the wider line. He's going to lose a bit more speed. And comes right in behind Antonio there, so not able to make it stick. But seems to have the speed over Antonio. Antonio seems to be slipping back slightly. So 2 laps remaining. Sean Johnson still in 8th place. Solid result so far for Sean. The car seems to handle the bumps quite nicely as well. I'm surprised because I think that's one of the lighter cars. It's mid-engined. The mid-engine might be helping with the bumps. And Wayne Kruger still in 9th place, so a solid position still with Julian Brains all over him. In the background we see Donnie Stander starting to close in on this battle, so I'm not sure if it's because Wayne's maybe defending, slowing them down slightly. The previous lap times were about a second and a half slower than Sean, so they're falling back from Sean now, so that might be because they're defending. Donnie almost 2 seconds faster on the last lap, so closing in fast, so Donnie might actually close in on them before the end of the race. So good points possibly on the table for Donnie. Of course, Julian trying very hard, running slightly wide now. So going further back in the field. We have a few more battles. Unfortunately, most of them are quite big, but we have Donovan from Mark. A couple of tenths behind D Nash at the moment. 5 tenths behind. Porsches definitely look quite stable around here. I'm not sure if their characteristics are helping the car to rotate and get better exit speed because they can get the car turned in sooner maybe. But they do seem to be handling the bumps better. But tail happy there. So definitely challenging D Nash here, so D Nash has to be careful, and then he's got Hilke not too far up the road as well, so possibly another position up for grabs. Right, so the final lap is now on the cards. We have Chris Collison still in second, but the gap to first has grown a lot. It's now 5.5 seconds, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But further back in the field we have Timo Smit now challenging Stanton Augustus, and Gerrit Bierkes right behind them. This is the final lap, so this is the challenge. Who can get the final place in the podium? At the moment it looks like it's Jean-Andre with a clear win. Chris Collison, I don't know if Chris is maybe settled or his tyres have gone. Stanton is in third, but he's got Timo Smit and Gerrit Bierkes right behind him. So any small mistake and he'll lose the position. He might even lose 2 positions if it's a big enough mistake. So let's keep an eye on this. While looking at everyone else, we have Gerrit Bierkes with the fastest overall first sector. So he's pushing hard. Timo's feeling the need to go defensive already. Right, here comes Gerrit. He's pushing hard. You see the car bouncing around a bit. There's no flames coming out of his car like there's Timo. So Timo has now slipped back from Stanton. I'm not sure if that's because he's now starting to defend. So Stanton now looks like he's got this in the bag. I think Timo is now defending for 4th place. Ooh, Gerrit having a bit of a moment there. The front end moving around slightly. Alright, so Gerrit gets on the dirt, loses a little bit of drive. He'll be able to get close enough to make a move. Depending on the line he takes, it is possible to come from this far back and make a move into the final turn, but I think, ooh, I was going to say I think it was a bit late, but then Timo seemed to break a bit earlier. So I think this is now secure. So taking first place, Jean-Andre du Toit, Chris Collison second, Stanton Augustus takes 3rd place, Timo Smit 4th, Gerrit Bierkes 5th, Sean Olivier 4th, sorry 6th, Antonio De Lima takes 7th place, and then just behind them Sean Johnson and Wayne Kruger. That was very close between them. Julian Brains and Donnie Stander, then Marius van Wyk, and Stan Bezuidenhout rounds the final turn, take 13th place. So good race in the end for Stan, getting up to 13th place. Then Hilke Vereniger, right behind him is Donovan van Mark. So a good race for Donovan as well. René du Toit, his first race in the Porsche, gets 16th place. So not quite the result I was expecting, but a solid result in the end. Andre Hildebrand, 17th from Peter Geldernes. Peter Geldernes had a bit of an issue at the start. Wessel Viljoen, Rian van der Westhuizen, and Rudy van der Westhuizen unfortunately in the pits. So that will be the end of our sprint race. We're going to head to a quick ad break and we will be back shortly for the feature race. So I'm just going to set the grid and then we will be ready for race 2. See you shortly.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of...
Alright, welcome back everybody. This of course is the Sim Experience SA IBFUSA GT3 World Series Round 9, the feature race brought to you by IBFUSA. This is a 60-minute feature race. The grid is now set from the sprint races results. This of course is SEBRING International in Florida, United States. Have a look at our standings at the moment, but I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell. I am alone tonight, no Sean Woodgate tonight, sadly. So that we are aware of our schedule, this is the penultimate round of the championship, round 9, Sebring full circuit. Then we'll be heading over to Monza in Italy. Let's have a look at our starting order. So, in pole position, we have Jean-Andre de Toy from Chris Collison, Stanton Augustus in third, and Timo Smith in fourth. In 5th place, Gerrit Bierkes. 6th place, Sean Olivier. 7th place, Antonio De Lima. 8th place, Sean Johnson. In 9th place, Wayne Kruger. In 10th place, Julian Brains. 11th place, Dani Stander. And 12th place, Marius van Wyk. In 13th place, Stan Bezuidenhout. In 14th place, Hilke Vereniger. 15th place, Donovan Vermaak. And in 16th place, Monet de Toy. In 17th place, Andre Hildebrandt. 18th place, Pieter Geldernes. 19th place, Wessel Viljoen. And 20th place, Rian van der Westhuizen. In 21st place, Rudy van der Westhuizen. 22nd, Dinesh Singh. And taking up the rear of the grid, Javigos after that spin in race 1, unfortunately ruining his start position for race 2. So the drivers are now following the safety car. The safety car will peel in. As it did in race 1, we'll have the same start procedure where the drivers will have a gentleman's agreement. They'll follow until they get through turn 1 before they will then get on the throttle and put foot. So we watch race 1 victor Jean-Andre de Toy. Collison in 2nd place and Stanton Augustus in 3rd place. 4th place we had Timo Smith, another good race, but Timo seemed to have a terrible start. So let's see if he can have a better start this time around. I think the track being wet in the first minutes of the race from between session sprinkles has definitely caught the guys up, but it's dry now. We're in for a proper dry race, so hopefully no issues at the start that don't catch the drivers out. Let's see if everyone will be awake this time around. As we see the drivers all navigating around the final turn. Safety car is now in the pits. So all the drivers making their way around now.
Green flag, go, go, go.
The leader will dictate the pace until they get around turn 1. Let's see what kind of pace he will dictate. It looks like it's quite slow. He's deciding to go slow. He will at some point just suddenly put his foot down, I'm sure. Still keeping them all together there now at the moment. Right, now he's on his way. Chris Collison close by. Stanton a little bit far back from Chris there. There's a bit slower. Gerrit up the inside of Timo there, so Timo caught napping. So Timo now lost a little bit of ground there to Gerrit, but Gerrit on the move at the moment. And the conditions are perfect at the moment, it's 27 degrees Celsius. Actually Antonio that's got ahead of Timo there, so apologies. Gerrit is actually... Where is Gerrit? Actually, good question, what has happened to Gerrit? Gerrit is in 23rd place, so a lap down. I'm not sure what's happened to Gerrit. He is in the service still, but a lap down. If someone knows what happened, perhaps they can let us know. Sorry I missed that. Right, so battles. Let's watch the battles. We have Sean Olivier right behind Timo Smith at the moment, having a good look at Timo. Right behind we have Wayne Kruger as well. Sean Johnson right behind Wayne Kruger. So back nice and tight. Julian right behind Dani Stander. So Dani Stander had a good finish and currently still in 9th place. So good start to this race as well. It looked like Andre Hildebrandt was on wet tires there. I'm not sure why he started on wet tires. Maybe he was assuming it was going to be wet. Definitely wasn't going to be a wet race, so maybe that was just an error. Perhaps that's what happened with Gerrit. Maybe Gerrit had wet tires on as well. But we have a dry track. Everyone else seems to be on the dry tires. We'll keep track of what tires everyone is on. Just so that everyone is aware. color coding is there. We can see Andre Hildebrand is in a blue tire, which of course is the wet tire. Only driver on the wet tire for some reason. Soft is the red tire, the medium is the yellow tire, the hard is the white tire. So the mediums and the hards seem to be the tires of choice at the moment. I think Andre was maybe thinking there might be a sprinkle of rain, we might be caught out, and he's just taken the gamble and it hasn't paid off. So, looks like Sean is just falling back ever so slightly from Timo. Gap at the front is 1.8 seconds between Jean-Andre and Chris. So Jean-Andre is starting to clear out now. He's getting his rhythm and his flow, everything going. Drivers behind, however, it's extremely close. So Stanton currently in 3rd place. Tony De Lima in 4th place. Timo right there with him in 5th place. Sean also right there in 6th place. Timo runs slightly wide and Antonio's slipped past. Timo made a few small mistakes in race 1, the sprint race. Now he's made a few again. Let's see, maybe it takes him a moment to get settled, as we have Sean Olivier now looking to pounce on him. So Sean eyeing up Timo at the moment. Timo's going to have to be careful he doesn't get caught. He definitely doesn't want to get caught by all the drivers and get swallowed up by the pack, but at the moment he's definitely under threat. Now he's currently pulling away just ever so slightly from Sean again. We'll keep an eye on that. We're watching the battle ahead, just slightly ahead of them. The battle is quite close between himself and Antonio. So Antonio is now trying to defend off Timo, and Timo's trying to attack Antonio while Sean is trying to attack Timo. So nice battle going on between those three drivers. We look back now from Antonio's car, looking back at Timo. You see Timo taking a slightly different line, running slightly wide in the middle of the corner. There's Sean all over the back of him now as well. So it looks at certain parts of the track where Timo's car definitely is more settled and pulls a bit of a gap, and then the BMW seems a bit more nimble and is able to, I think, get through the corners just maybe a fraction faster. Maybe at the point of the apex it can scrub off the speed, just turn a little bit tighter and get going a bit faster. Which is kind of what I thought the American muscle cars would be. Sean getting caught out there by the braking of Timo. I kind of thought that the American cars would be good at the point and squirt tactic, but that doesn't seem to be working. And they sort of do the point and squirt method, but they don't get out of the corner as well as they would have. So Sean still looking at the back of Timo. I think it's starting to settle slightly now. A few different positions. So Wayne Kruger currently in 9th and 7th place. So that's a good result. Sean Johnson just behind him in 8th, and then Donnie Stander. Julian Brains having a look there in the background. Going side by side with Donnie Stander. Donnie's going to have the line here. Yep. Now Julian's going to come up the inside. And does. Will he run wide? No, he keeps it beautifully on track there. So nicely done there by Julian. Oh, we see Sean Johnson running wide. Julian at least sees it, gives space. Nicely held there by everyone, making sure they give enough space to the drivers coming past. So Donnie Stander, 9th place at the moment. Julian Brains up to 8th place. So Julian is indeed going forward, as we see Harriet up the inside of Donnie. Nice move there by Harriet. So here comes Harriet. He's coming through the field. He's got Julian Brains now in his sights. Right, when you turn it nice and early, you can turn really early there, just basically skim the wall. Get a good exit, but a lot of the drivers choosing to give a bit more space and be a bit safer. So Harriet looking very, very close to the back of Julian's bumper there. There's a lot of reading to be had at that bumper. All the sticker bombing there. If he doesn't get caught out trying to read everything that's on the back of the car. Right, will he go up the inside? I think he's nicely poised to go for a move. Wayne is maybe also playing a part. I think that's caught Julian off guard slightly there. Julian's fighting back nice and hard. There comes Garrett past. So Garrett up to 8th place now. So the next driver in his sights is Wayne Kruger. So while this is all happening, we still have Timo Smit half a second behind Antonio. So that's the next closest battle. We have Darnie Stunder and Julian nice and close. Sean Johnson right behind Darnie Stunder at the moment. Actually a very close battle as well. So let's have a look at that. Because Sean did run wide, so I think he is a slightly faster driver. He might be coming back through the field, but he's not much faster than Darnie in qualifying trim. Let's see how the race pans out. We're also not sure what strategy the drivers are going to go for, whether they're going to go for harder tyres, no pit stop, or softer tyres, maybe go for a pit stop. This is, I think, a more abrasive circuit. I think the bumps will play a part. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have some pit stops later on. As we see Peter Geldenhuys getting a bit sideways on the curb in the background of that last shot. So speaking of Peter Geldenhuys, he's kind of in no man's land at the moment. 3 seconds behind Marius van Wyk, 6 seconds ahead of Monet de Toy. Looking good and consistent, so I think he will come forward in the race. He does seem to be quite a consistent driver. Rian van der Veste is not showing the pace I thought he would. That's a bit of a disappointment. I think Rian has got more pace. He hasn't had a chance really to practice this circuit, but looks like he's challenging Monet at the moment. So Monet having a good feature race so far. You can see the rotation of the Porsche there mid-corner, the rear end starting to come around, and you can definitely play with the throttle a bit, get the car to rotate nicely. So the drivers that are out at the moment are Donovan van Mark, he's got a DNF, and Andre Hildebrand. Not sure what happened to them. And earlier it was showing that Gerrit was last, but he's up to 11th now, so I'm not sure if he just maybe went off in the first corner or something, but he's definitely coming through the field, doesn't seem to have any damage. So that's good for Gerrit. So Hilke in a little bit of a battle today as well, so having some good races. He seems to be right between two battles at the moment, as we see the two Porsches directly behind him. Sorry, two Ferraris directly behind him of Stan Bezuidenhout and Dinesh Singh. Dinesh looking up the inside. Ooh, Stan running slightly wide there. I think that will be Dinesh an easy position as Stan runs wide, and I believe that's Harvey coming past as well. So Harvey picking off a place there. Harvey up to 18th at the moment. Apologies. Apologies for that. Alright, so positions close to the front, we have pretty consistent gaps of just over a second. So Timo currently 1.3 behind Antonio, Antonio 2 behind Stanton, Stanton 1 behind Chris, Chris 1.7 behind Jandre. Those all seem quite consistent. We have Sean Johnson now. Sean Johnson and Julian Brains are having a nice battle here, swapping places. I'm looking on the timing, their names going back and forward. Julian up the inside of Sean. Will Sean be able to keep the car on track? I think he'll just be able to do it, but Julian I think will have a bit more momentum, and does. So Sean will now be looking up the inside. Julian, will he be able to attack? Right, so Sean now on the attack. Can Julian handle the pressure? Let's see what happens. Some drivers are capable of handling the pressure, some aren't. Let's see how Julian handles having Sean directly behind him. He's now trying to attack Darnie ahead of him, but he's also got Sean right behind him, so it's going to be tricky. Let's see, how does he fare as the race progresses with all the pressure? You see that beautiful looking McLaren, number 52. Sean getting really, really close. He might do the switchback there. I think Julian is now going a bit too defensive, and he is losing a bit of momentum. So Sean is definitely pressuring him, and it's costing him, because you can see Darnie starting to pull away in the distance. So this will release Darnie, and hopefully, ooh, Sean now comes under attack from Gerrit. So Gerrit now coming to the party. Just slipping up the inside there. He will now start challenging. So Gerrit, I believe, up to, what is that, 8th place, 9th place. New fastest lap for Jean-Andre de Toy. So Jean-Andre just doing his thing in front. Only a fraction faster than Chris, so the gap staying pretty consistent between them. So Sean taking a slightly wider line on the entrance there. But up ahead we see there's a bit of a battle going on there. Who is that with? Is that with Sean Johnson or is that Timo? No, I believe it's Julian. Donnie, I think, slipping back slightly. It was Donnie and Julian, and Donnie now slipping in behind them. Just ahead of Sean. So Julian now under threat. Donnie's going to have to be defending now from Sean Johnson. While Gerrit is moving forward. Donnie's moving back slightly, so Donnie having dropped 2 places. So Donnie currently in 9th place. Sean Johnson looking good. Got a few cars in front of him, so he could still pick off a few places. So maybe Sean will get his best result of the season. I think his best so far was a 7th place. In the background we see Morris van Wyk getting it all wrong on the brakes, taking the runoff area there. You see a bit of dirt flying. But he did seem to avoid the barrier, so he should rejoin safely. So Donnie doing well, still right behind Julian, so they haven't dropped Julian, although Gerrit has got past Julian. Let's see if they can all cling to the back of Gerrit, and Gerrit can maybe tag everyone along, drag them up the field. So let's just have a look further up the field. So at the moment, Stanton is a second behind Chris. It is a fairly consistent gap. It stayed pretty much like that. Chris is slowly catching Jean-Andre though. That gap was 1.7. Coming up to the final corner, it had dropped slightly. It's now 1.4, 1.5. So this will be a slightly slower lap this lap by Jean-Andre, but only just. In fact, it was a second slower. Half a second slower than Chris and a second slower than Jean-Andre's personal best. So Jean-Andre definitely having a slightly slower lap there. Stanton now within a second of Chris, so he's also catching slightly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Julian is still in a big battle here. He's got Donnie right in front of him and he's got Sean right behind him. So he's definitely fighting it at the moment, getting it from both sides. And, oh, there he goes. Past Donnie's thunder. A little bit of rubbing there, and now Sean Johnson all over the back of Donnie's thunder. Donnie's thunder really in the battles today, but having a good race so far. Julian Brain's also having a good race so far. So Sean Johnson now looking at back end of a very, very wide Mercedes-Benz. So 16th behind Donnie's thunder. Brakes, he seems quite stable. We see Julian Brain's running wide there. Will they pick him off? They definitely will. Right, so they are upper place. Peter Geldernes also picking off Julian there. So Peter Geldernes now up into 10th place, so in the top 10. Julian making a few mistakes and just slipping back. Sean having a look at Donnie at the moment. Will he get past? I don't think you can there, especially with the Merc power. The Merc definitely has a lot more torque than the other cars. Sweeps. The McLaren almost looks like it has more body roll. Would have assumed that the Mercedes would have more body roll with its extra weight, but the McLaren is a little bit lower, and yet it seems to be moving, so maybe softer suspension setup definitely would help for bumps. Let's see, does Sean close in on the bumps? He gets very, very close. Oh, how close he is to the back bumper of Donnie. But Donnie does get on the throttle a bit better, squares off the corner, it's able to just pull a bit of a gap. So the Mercedes definitely holding off the McLaren there just by the grunt of the motor. So good driving by Donnie, taking advantage of it. Now we have Peter Geldernes closing in the background. The two squabbling in front is allowing him just to sort of cruise up to the back of them now. They seem to pull away just at certain points, and then maybe on the braking where they start to get defensive, where Peter closes in quite a lot. Of course, you get that yo-yo effect of the brakes and the throttle as the guys accelerate or brake, closing in. Oh, Donnie running slightly wide. Will Sean get past? It looks like he will. I think he is past. So is Donnie now going to slot in behind? He has. Will he be able to challenge? Nope, too far back. So now he's going to have to worry about Peter Geldernes. He's only 4/10 back. And then Julian Brains is now 7/10 back roughly. The gaps throughout the field, we still have Antonio De Lima is actually caught up to Timo, so he's having a good race. Sean Olufia not too far back as well. So Timo's got to be careful he doesn't end up slipping back in the field here. Not having the strongest start to his race. Having started 4th place. He's still in 4th place, but he seems to be struggling to keep the car there, so it looks like he just doesn't have the pace to run with the top 3 at the moment. But the problem is he's got 5th and 6th place closing in on him, so he's going to have to go defensive soon, which means the gap to 3rd is going to grow even bigger. So Garrett is now 7th place, closing in on Sean, although it's quite a big gap of 15 seconds, but the gap is coming down ever so slightly. He was about 7/10 faster on the previous lap, so I'm sure in a couple of laps time, maybe 8-9 laps, he'll be a lot closer, maybe close enough to make a challenge. So Sean Johnson has a second gap now between himself and Donnie Stunder. Julian Brains is right behind Donnie Stunder now, so Julian, after making his mistake, is regrouping. But Donnie is having to go very, very defensive. But Donnie's still having a good race, still he's in the top 10, 9th place, solid result so far. And then just outside of the top 10 we have Marius van Wyk in 11th place, so good result there. Rene du Toit having a good result, currently just behind Wayne Kruger, another one having a good race. So quite a few of the drivers having good races, so perhaps this track is suiting some of the drivers more than others, or maybe even suiting the cars and the drivers. So some of the drivers progressing and some of the drivers going backwards. Strange seeing Monet in a non-green colored car. It looks good driving in the Porsche, seems to be suiting him, seems to be more consistent in the Porsche, so hopefully he's happier with that, with the wheel change that he's made, the hardware changes. Hopefully he's got more fuel and can start dialing it in and getting a bit faster. He did show a much better pace in the practice service, so it seemed like he was gelling better with his car, with the new wheel he's got. So that bodes well for the future. Another driver further down in a Ferrari, Rudy van der Westhuizen. We don't see him much in the race, but he is still here. Only just over 4 seconds shy of Dinesh Singh, so not doing too bad. He's third of the Ferraris, but he's not far behind the other Ferrari, or one of the other Ferraris. He's ahead of Stan Bezuidenhout, so Stan Bezuidenhout is 2 places behind him, so Rudy having a good race. That does look quite good. Like he was getting a bit of understeer the way he was turning the wheels, a bit aggressive on the turn in. Just up ahead of them we see Dinesh. Dinesh currently sitting in 17th place, just behind Rian van der Westhuizen. So I think Rian is starting to go a little bit better. Although his last lap, I say that it was a 2:19, so a terrible last lap by Rian. With a personal best of 2:05 and a last lap of a 2:19. And now he's done a 2:06, so maybe just had a bit of a moment, but also regrouping. Hilke having a good race. So Hilke currently in 15th place, so that's a good result for Hilke. Seems to be doing quite well. I know he was struggling with the final turn when I was watching in practice. He went off there a few times, so seems to have got to grips with that. quite stable, quite smooth. So before I put the curse on him, let's move away from him. As we see here, it's still coming forward. The gap was 15 seconds just now. It's now just under 14 seconds. So he is closing, but it seems like the speed at which he was closing has slowed ever so slightly. Stanton Augustus, however, is all over the back of Chris at the moment, and Jean-Andre de Toy not too far away, only just over a second. So the top three battle is on. And just in the distance we see the battle for fourth place. So there's a three-way battle for first, and there seems to be a three-way battle for fourth. If we look at the extended battle, we can see everyone's here. It's showing only two in the battle, but first place is right there. Oh, there we go. Now it shows all three in the battle. So this is the battle for first. It keeps fluctuating between first and second, I guess, as the gaps drop. And I think if you're within a second, you're considered by the system to be within the battle. It should fluctuate as they go through braking zones and all of that. Stanton coming good as the race progresses, so Chris is under threat. Of course, we don't have Jason here tonight. We weren't sure if he would make it for this race. He had his cricket match, but we thought he might make the feature race, but he didn't, unfortunately. But for everyone else, that means Jason will now lose his lead in the championship. Not sure exactly how that will affect the team standings. I think Team Harder Racing have got it in the bag already. But with Donnie not here, I think Truck Auto aren't in the position to grab the overall position without their second driver being here. That's the beauty of having two drivers. You score extra points. All the points matter at the end of the day. I think that's why Team Harder Racing have been doing so well, is they've got two drivers running at the front fairly consistently, so they've made it pretty easy to get the team championship. Jean-Andre has now joined Midnight Code, but unfortunately Adrian's not here tonight, so they'll be getting good points for his first place in race 1 and possibly a win in race 2, unless he gets caught and passed by these two drivers. But you need to have two drivers there if you're going to be fighting for the championship. Right, see the cars bouncing around on the curbs and the bumps, and definitely not an easy, relaxing track. But it's fantastic to drive because of that. Very, very interactive. Just now, all over the bumps, closing in on Jean-Andre. So I don't know if Jean-Andre is just sort of pacing himself maybe, but definitely not going as far. So the previous lap time we had Jean-Andre on a 202.849. We had Chris on a 202.848. So only 1,000th of a second faster than Jean-Andre, so that's pretty close. Stanton on a 202.834, so a fraction faster than them. Then in fourth place, Timo 203.3, and then Antonio 204.0, Sean Olivier 203.5, Gerrit Bierkes at 202.7, so the fastest overall in the last lap. Sean Johnson on a 204.9. So the times are definitely, which was, I think was Sean's fastest lap in the race. Julian on a 205.3, so we're seeing lap times sort of fluctuating with the drivers. So Timo now starting to pull away. I think he's broken the challenge of Tony DeLima. And I think Sean Olivier is definitely right there. I think that's the bigger threat for Antonio at the moment, is keeping Sean at bay. So can he keep Sean at bay? Gap currently 6/10. So, tyre compounds, we have Jean-Andre Toy on hards, then mediums for Chris Collison, medium for Stanton Augustus, hard for Timo Smith, medium for Tony DeLima, hard for Sean Olivier, medium for Gerrit, medium for Sean. So we'll see as the tyres wear throughout the race. Will the hards come into play? I think some of the drivers are definitely going to struggle with the mediums at the end of the race. So possibly we'll see some drivers maybe taking it easy now, preserving their tyres. Maybe the guys in the hards have pushed a bit too hard, expecting that the tyres will last. We'll see how the tyres hold up as the race progresses. We're now edging towards the halfway mark. 32 minutes left to go. Nice exit there. Sean just onto the curb. So a couple of close gaps, but a couple of big gaps. So a lot of 1 and 2 second gaps throughout the field, which is good to see. 1 or 2 bigger ones. Rian van der Veste is currently right behind D Nash. Nudge there. Rian, I think, has gone backwards slightly. He was, I think, in 16th earlier, so I'm not sure if D Nash has caught and passed him, but he's now got ahead of D Nash. D Nash definitely takes a much tighter line, then straightens up, then turns in again, rather than taking a wider line. Oh, we are very, very wide. Lucky not to put the barrier there. While looking very, very unsettled. So D Nash getting a bit of drive on him. I don't think he's going to get there in time. And taking the defensive line, then just drifting back over to the race line, but I think he's gone a bit deep. Might be a bit slow on the exits. But I think D Nash was a bit too tight and not able to capitalize. Over the curbs, who's going to take more curbs? Rian being very, very cautious. Oh, D Nash onto the dirt. I think he would have lost any advantage there. So Stanton now, once again, within a second of Chris, but not able to get any closer than that. It's like he's got there, but now he can't do anything. Catching is one thing, passing is another. So the top 3 pretty static at the moment. The top 4, 5 and 6 also pretty static at the moment. So further down the field, Sean Johnson is now 25 seconds back of Gerrit. So Gerrit has pulled away quite nicely. Gerrit is now 11 seconds behind Sean Olivier. So not closing in as fast as we thought he would. But Sean Olivier only did a 2:04 on the last lap, while Gerrit did a 2:02.8. So over a second faster there. And as the times are fluctuating, it's now just under the 11 seconds, so 10 point something seconds between Gerrit and Sean. So that's a gap Gerrit might still catch. Julian is 1.5 shy of Sean, so he's still there. If he keeps it together, he might be challenging at the end of the race. Sean is definitely consistent as ever. Looks like they're catching Rudy van der Veste, isn't it? I think that's Rudy in the distance that we saw. Looked like a Ferrari, and it looked like it was Rudy's Ferrari. Just a quick check at the YouTube, so thank you to everyone on YouTube. Francois Pretorius saying, nice Wayne, keep it up. Teresa Ann Kruger saying, awesome race guys, supporting Wayne as well. Andre Dippenar, all your comments, thank you Andre, good to see you in the comments. Picture you're not driving tonight, but I guess it's good for your teeth to keep your teeth in. This track with your motion rig will definitely rattle your teeth. Adrian Nell, of course, in the comments, so good to have Adrian in the comments. Sam Zere, I'm not sure who that is, but I believe you are supporting, is it Gerrit or one of those drivers, if I'm correct. Tony. But thank you everyone, and remember to hit the like and subscribe, do the YouTube thing. It definitely helps us out a lot to have as many likes as possible. So Julian not able to close fast enough to attack. So I don't know if he's just holding station, taking it easy at the moment. But you can see Sean, you just can't catch him. Makes a nice wide line. It's a line they're taking real up there. Actually just go over that white line, cut back, that seems to be allowed. Seems like the Porsche is maybe a little bit faster on the straight because he starts to catch the McLaren. The McLaren does seem a bit nimble as they now go around the outside of Rudy van der Veste. As Rudy pulls into the pits, I'm not sure if that's for a tyre stop or is that a penalty? I presume it's a tyre stop, not a penalty. Julian getting ever closer to Sean, but it's fractions of a second that he's getting closer and closer. Another close battle at the front. We have the top three are right together at the moment. So it's really, really close at the front. So we can see our extended battle between the top three. The battle for first place. We have top three within 0.8 of a second. So it's extremely close. Let's see if we can get a view from perhaps Jean-Ray maybe looking back. See if we can catch anything, if anything does happen there. But at the moment it is very, very close between the top three. So just to check through the field, at the moment we have Jean-Louis Dutoit in first, Chris Collison in second, Stanton Augustus in third. Oh, just taking a lot of curb there. Timo Smith in fourth place, Antonio De Lima in fifth place. We have Sean Olivier in sixth place. We have Harriet Bierkes in seventh place, Sean Johnson in eighth place, Julian Brains in ninth place, Donnie Stunder in 10th place. That is our top 10. So we're getting to see the front end of Chris's car quite closely now. So I'm not sure if Jean-Ray is struggling, but Jean-Ray is on the hard tyre. So very, very surprised if he's starting to have tyre problems, but Chris is actually seemingly doing better while Chris is on the medium tyre. So Stanton now looking to challenge as well. So lap time wise, the top three previous laps, we had a 2:03.777, 2:03.365, 2:03.232, and a 2:03.1 for Timo behind. So Timo's actually closing slightly. He's 12 seconds back at the moment, but he is going faster. So if the drivers at the front slow each other down with tyre wear going or whatever the case may be, maybe Timo will still come back into play. He's quite far back at the moment though. Speaking of Timo, he is at the moment 2 seconds ahead of Antonio De Lima. Sean is now 4 seconds shy of Antonio, so Sean is falling back. Harriet is now 6 seconds behind Sean, so Sean is definitely slowing down slightly, and Harriet has been closing, so that gap is closing quite fast. Then Sean Johnson is 30 seconds behind Harriet, so I don't see Sean moving forward in the race unless there's any incidents and tyre changes and pit stop and strategy coming into play. But we have Julian right behind Sean as well. So let's have a look at our driver box. We are driving with Julian Brains from Team High Revolution Racing. Going to challenge Sean Johnson at the moment. I think he's not quite had the drive out of the final turn there. It's a slightly tighter line, but Sean is now going defensive. Getting ready to challenge. Sean has to start looking in his mirrors now because Julian's definitely got a run on him. He's definitely looking. Can he get past there? So Sean definitely making that car as wide as possible at the moment. Julian is looking to get that 8th place from him as soon as possible. I don't know if Sean is maybe struggling for pace at the moment. Last lap was a 2:05.6 and his personal best is a 2:04.9, so he's actually doing very competitive times relative to his personal best, very consistent times. Julian was on a 2:05.6 and his personal best is a 2:04.3, so also fairly consistent, so maybe everything is just settled down and Julian is just a fraction faster at this phase of the race. So we'll see as they get onto another lap. It looks like it's pretty stable at the moment. Although I think the gap does just close there in the braking zone. Julian looks like he got the car to rotate a bit too much on the bumps, and as a result has lost a bit of drive. Oh, Sean putting a wheel on the dirt, throwing the dirt up into Julian's face there as they come up to lap Harvicos. Having a quick look at the YouTube chat again. Johan Bierke saying go Gerrit. Perhaps since we have someone cheering on for Gerrit, as we see the drivers coming past Harvey as he now moves over and lets Sean past and Julian past. Thank you, Harvey. Gerrit of course is moving forward in the race. At the moment he's just kind of in no man's land, so we're waiting for him to catch up to Sean Olivier. He's currently 4.6 seconds shy. Well, there it shows 4.8 seconds, but the braking zone was 4.6. So he is closing. I think in the next 10 minutes or so he'll probably be there or thereabouts. So the final 10 minutes I think he will be challenging Sean, possibly Antonio, maybe even Timo. So depending how he progresses and how his pace carries on, he might be able to get a 4th place. I don't think he'll be able to get third, but it is a possibility with his pace he could get maybe 4th place, which would still be a solid result considering where he's come from the back of the field. So his teammate Antonio also having a good race, currently in 5th place, 2nd and a half, 1.7, 1.8 behind Timo at the moment. So 20 minutes remaining. So we're into the final third of the race. Let's see how tyre wear pans out. We've got Vessel Falloon in the pits at the moment. I believe that's for tyres. Might be for fuel. I'm not sure how the fuel will be on this track. Not a fast flowing track. It might use fuel a bit more aggressively because of that. I think Monza will also be a challenging one for the fuel because you've got long straights. You're definitely going to be using more fuel. But here you're full throttle quite a lot of the lap actually, so it might be aggressive on the fuel. So maybe that's why the drivers are pitting more for fuel rather than for tyres. I don't remember the exact amount of fuel. I think it differs per car. Perhaps they just can't quite keep enough fuel in the car to make it to the end, but we'll see. We'll see how many drivers end up doing stops and how many go for, if they do a stop, how many go for fuel or how many go for tyres. So Timo coming under threat at the moment. At the moment we also have Dani Stunder challenging Peter Caldenes. So Dani, I think, went back slightly. Now he's coming forward again, so maybe also his tyres are settling or he's settling or whatever's happening. He's definitely catching, as I say, that he gets a bit sideways. Playing or showboating for the cameras. Oh, it does look fantastic, as Sean Woodgate regularly points out. Those Mercedes badges all over. It does look fantastic. Change of position. Something has changed. I believe Chris has taken the lead. Jean de Toy. What has happened to Jean de Toy? Down to 3rd place at the moment. So my apologies. While I'm watching the action, I haven't even noticed that the lead has changed. So Chris Collison has taken the lead, standing in 2nd. Jean de Toy has, I think, made a mistake because he's dropped down by 10 seconds behind Stanton. That's at least a 15-second drop. Unless it was for a very, very quick pit stop. I don't think it would have been for a pit stop. I presume he's made a mistake. But perhaps I can enable something that will show us whether they have made pit stops or not. So let's see, this will show no. Many drivers have made pit stops, will have a 1 next to them, so no, they have not had that happen yet, so we will just have to wait. I presume that was a mistake, so maybe, I see his car looks a bit damaged in the front, maybe he hit something. Let's just see what his lap times will be like. His last lap was a 2:02.7. I presume this lap is going to be a pretty slow lap, maybe a 2:19, 2:18, somewhere around there. So Stanton now 3 seconds behind Chris. That is now the battle for the lead. So possibly Chris being behind Jean-Andre wasn't able to show his pace. So we'll see as well if that is anything to follow. Just looking at the lap times there. So Jean-Andre doing a 2:13 on the lap. So not as bad as I was expecting. Apologies, I had to just run briefly there. So I'm back. We have Stanton 2.7 seconds shy of Chris Collison at the moment. So Jean-Andre seems to have regrouped. I don't know what has happened. Maybe he just made a mistake, ran wide. Maybe I was just imagining that damage on his bonnet, but I think he might have hit something. That might be the damage. Looks like it's slightly crumpled. Right, we have Jason Underwood in the YouTube comments. Evening, Jason. Shame you couldn't make it for the race. Spaz Mataz, not sure who that is, but good evening. Right, so coming through the field as we see the drivers passing the other drivers. So Jean-Andre now passing, I believe that is Dinesh Singh. And in the distance, I think that is Rian van der Westhuizen. I think it was an orange car. No, it's Jelko Veronica. A red car. So they're coming through the field now. I'm not sure if back markers will play a part. So at the moment, Garrett is right behind Sean. So he has indeed caught up. So now getting past Rian van der Westhuizen and Rian moving right over actually onto the grass. So let's see, is he going to be able to... Oh, makes a big dive on the brakes there. It's very sideways, and I think Sean is coming back at him. No. Very, very close there. I'm not sure what's happened to Sean, but Sean's last lap was a 2:03.7, so not too bad. Garrett was a second faster on the last lap with 2:02.7. So Garrett's got pretty good race pace at the moment. I'm not sure what happened in the middle of the race though. Oh, sorry, at the start of the race. But definitely has the pace. He seems to have the fastest times at the moment. By over a second over anyone else. So Garrett on the move. Now we see Sean with Rian right behind him, but Rian is not for position. So Garrett up to 6th place at the moment. 6.5 seconds shy of his teammate Antonio, so we'll see if he can catch him. if he can, there's 12 minutes left. Then he could stand a chance to possibly even catch Timo another 3 seconds up the road, but that is a tall order. Lap time wise, he is about 3 seconds a lap faster than Antonio, or certainly by the last lap standards. So we have Julian right behind Sean once again. The battle is on between the two of them still. It is still raging. Julian hasn't given up. And Sean's still making his car as wide as possible. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. To mute myself just to make sure no one hears that. Julian getting good drive there, closing in on the brakes and then managing to get on the throttle a bit quicker, so it looks like he's going to get past. But no, Sean going very, very early on the defense there, taking the tight line. Julian now looking up the inside. Sean's got that covered for now. Good racing between Julian and Sean at the moment. So we see Julian just hunting Sean down there, getting ever closer, getting very, very close. Is he going to nip it up the inside, go from the outside straight away, dart up the inside? No, he's going to stick to the outside. It's a move that might give him better drive, but I think the nature of the track, the way the track swings left and right here, it's going to be very difficult to make that move stick from that position. I would have rather stuck it up the inside there, but let's see. Going to do the outside inside move again, the cut back. Trying his best to get past Sean, but Sean is making his car so wide at the moment. And the difference is just so small. To get past someone when the lap times between you are so close is extremely difficult. Although the previous lap Sean was a second a lap slower than Julian, so maybe Sean's tyres have just gone. That's why Julian is closing in, as you see him just running off track there. He'll get a warning for that. Just be careful, too many warnings like that, you'll get a drive-through penalty. You definitely wouldn't want that now, that would ruin his chances of any good results. So still on the chase, here he comes, going between Sean. Oh, just getting past there. Nice, and Sean coming back at him. Nicely done, Sean. That's good driving there. Excellent defending. I don't think Julian would have expected that. Right, so the battle continues. Just when we thought Julian had it done and dusted, Sean takes it back. Sean's not having any of that. He wants that position. Flames coming out the back of the McLaren. So Julian still waiting patiently for the right time. He made a good move earlier, but it just didn't work out. Sean was too good on the comeback. So he's going to have to rethink that. That strategy just didn't quite work against Sean. Sean had him covered. Now it looks like Sean's maybe broken Julian just ever so slightly. Let's see, maybe Julian's going to regroup. Maybe he got a bit of dirt on his tyres, needs to be cleaned off. But we have Peter Geldernes now coming into play. He's only 1.4 or 1.1 behind. So as these two are squabbling, Peter is just rubbing his hands together, waiting for a moment. With just under 8 minutes left to go, maybe Peter Geldernes will come to play and steal 8th place from these two. Oh, Julian getting a bit too aggressive on the curbs, the car getting a bit loose there. Didn't seem to lose any momentum by doing that. Managing to hang in there. We now see Peter Geldernes having a good look at the cars ahead of them, fighting it out. I'm sure stealing with his eyes, seeing where they are aggressive, where they are slow as a result, planning his move in advance. Going around the outside, but we'll get cut off by doing that. But Julian definitely trying the wider line in and to get more drive out of the corner, hoping that he can get past Sean that way, because Sean's taking the tighter, defensive, slower line in. But Sean seems to have the traction to get out and defend, but here we have Julian going around the outside again, trying to do the cutback, but then just can't get on the traction quick enough, and now he's got Peter to play with as well. So Peter's just saying, thank you very much, the more you fight, the more I'll come to play, and now I'm with you. So a two-way battle is now a three-way battle. Becoming good as the race progresses. 6 minutes left to go. Can he pick off the two in front? Ooh, Julian runs slightly deep there. Peter might actually get the drive on him now. I think Julian might just have this covered. I think he was lucky they got away with that. But let's see how quick they can close up to Sean. I think Sean has been given a little bit of a lifeline there. So the gap is now extended to over a second to Julian. So Julian is still under threat from Peter, but Sean has now got a bit of a breather between himself and Julian. So Wessel Verlin in the pits once again. Not sure what for, but he's in the pits again. So looking at the field, we still have Chris Collison in first, second ahead of Stanton Augustus, 5 seconds ahead of Jean-Louis de Troy. 11 seconds then to Timo Smit, 4 seconds to Gerrit Bierkes. Gerrit is catching Timo. Gerrit did actually get ahead of Antonio, so I'm not sure if Antonio moved over, but he does seem to be catching Timo, so I presume he just caught and passed, and I've just missed it. Well, this battle seems to be going all the way to the wire. Geldernes only half a second behind Julian, 2/10 behind Julian, having a look now. You see the sun starting to set as well. That can maybe play a part as the sun hits the guys different parts of the track. It might become an issue. Visibility with the sun in your eyes on some tracks is an issue, especially for drivers in VR. Through there. Peter just keeping the car nice and smooth, doing his thing, letting the drivers in front fight it out. And I'm sure he's getting ready to pounce. He's just slowly catching. We have a yellow in sector 1 with Chris Collison. What has happened to Chris Collison? Chris Collison has gone off. An error by Chris Collison. We see a driver in the background, Rudy van der Vestes, and I'm not sure if that was an... Oh, he's got damage. That's not good. I think it was Rudy van der Vestes and perhaps an issue being lapped. I think that car is missing a wheel by the looks of things. Oh no, that could be the end of Chris's race. As we see Timo coming past. So Timo now steals third place. Chris will now tumble down the order as we see Gerrit up to fourth place. So that puts Stanton up into the lead. So Stanton now coming through the field. This could be Stanton's first victory. Unfortunate circumstances, but he's driven brilliantly and you've got to be there to take the victory. And it looks like, I think Chris has just had a bit of a bad luck moment possibly with Rudy van der Vestes, and as he was lapping him. I'm not sure what happened, but he definitely had contact. He's lost a wheel and there was Rudy van der Vestes against the barrier, so Unless Rudy had lost it and Chris had nowhere to go, or Chris was lapping him and there was an incident between the two of them, but Stanton has inherited the lead, so with just over 2 minutes to go, so a lap and a bit for Stanton to go before he gets his first victory in the series. So Jean Toy also inherits second place now, so just over 4.5 seconds between himself and Stanton. That'll be a lucky get out of jail for Jean. He seemed to be going backwards as well. Timo getting third place. That's a solid third place if he gets that. Chris is still in the race, although he's now got a DNF. I thought he'd maybe gone into the pits, but I think he was maybe trying to get to the pits but just couldn't. So that's the end of Chris, unfortunately. So any driver that can get past him will now pick up the place. There are some that are a lap down, but I think they will still get past because there'll be enough time to get 2 cars past. So I think Chris would probably drop down to 19th place at the end of the day. So with all that excitement, let's go back to the battle with Julian, Sean and Peter. So Sean's still ahead. Julian looking again to close in with just a minute left to go, so this will be them onto the last lap, I think. Although I'm not sure where the leader is. It's obviously the leader that will set whether the lap is going to finish or not. So Stanton currently in the middle sector. He might actually finish this lap. He's just going to miss. So this might be the final lap. 40 seconds to go, heading into back straight now, which is called the Almond Straight. Then he'll head into Sunset Bend, which is the final turn. And if he doesn't roll out of the throttle, I think he might just get one more lap. Let's see, is he going to make it? Before we change away, this might be the final lap, but 15 seconds to go, he should finish this lap and have one lap to go. I think he'll cross it with like 8 or 6 seconds to go by the looks of it. 5 seconds to go. Right, he's on a new lap. This is now the final lap. So the battle further back can now continue. Sean Olivier unfortunately is alone at the moment. But the battle behind is Julian and Peter, so I'm not sure what's happened to Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson has fallen back slightly. I think he's maybe just had a slight error, unless Julian made a move and they've had contact, but I don't know that there was contact. Didn't see any yellow flags. So this is the closest battle at the moment. So Peter Caldenes, you see the sun starting to set. Peter Caldenes looking at Julian Brains. Of course, is the final lap. Drivers will now be finishing their laps, so this battle will go across the line. Then we'll plot all the drivers across. So I think Julian will be safe. He should just, unless Peter gets an excellent exit here, which he might just actually do. Is Peter going to get him across the line? Oh, it's almost a photo finish. Great finish between the two of them, but Julian just hangs on to it. So, Stanton Augustus coming home to take the flag for his first ever victory. A solid performance by Stanton tonight. On the Almond Straight into Sunset Bend. He comes out of Sunset Bend. This will be it. To the checkered flag, taking his first ever victory. I'm sure he'll be overwhelmed by that. That would be a big achievement. Well done, Stanton. Jean coming across the line for second place. I think we'll get first overall for the night. Fantastic result. And Timo will come across for third. Good result. And Carrot were right behind him. So Carrot not able to capitalize, get another position, but he was right there. Antonio, great fifth place as well. Sean Olivier, sixth place. Julian, we did see coming across the line to take 7th from Peter Caldenes. Sean Johnson taking 9th place. I believe they have finished the race. I'm not sure if this is them still at race pace or not, because we did see the checkered flag being waved with the Julian Brains and Peter Caldenes battle. So I presume they are just on an in-lap. So Dani Stunder taking 10th place. A great result for Dani as well. Marius van Wyk is in 11th place. Rene du Toit in 12th place. He has already pitted, so I think has gone in already. Dinesh Singh taking 13th place in the end, so not a bad result considering he was a bit wary of this track. Rian van der Westhuizen taking 14th place. Hilke Verenica 15th. Wayne Kruger 16th. Stan Bezadnote 17th. Harvey Koos 18th. Chris Collison 19th. Rudy van der Westhuizen 20th. Wessel Falloon 21st. Donovan Vermaak 22nd. Andre Hildebrand 23rd. So those are our finishing positions. We are going to head to an ad break and we'll be back shortly with our interviews. So stay tuned, we'll be back shortly.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, Look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Sim Experience SA IBFUSA GT3 World Series Round 9 interviews, coming to you live from SEBRING International Circuit in Florida, United States. I am joined by two of our top three drivers. Unfortunately, Timo isn't here. Maybe he can still join, but if not, we'll just have to settle for first and second because Timo is third overall. Just to let everyone know that this is the final round. We'll be heading over to Monza after this. But this is Sebring, the penultimate round completed now. So going into the interviews, we have Jean de Toy taking first place overall, from Stanton Augustus second, and in third place Timo Smit, who is absent at the moment, so I'm not sure if he will join us. But let's start with you, Jean. You had an eventful feature race. You had quite a convincing sprint race. You seemed to just sort of get into the lead and just pull away from everyone, and it looked like you were going to do the same in the feature race, and then you had a bit of a moment. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I think I chose the wrong tire compound. It seems the medium was the way to go. So I really struggled through the first sector, and I could see every time Chris would catch me on that sector, and that's actually the sector I lost it in. I just went wide, touched the grass, and the car just spun, and I rolled it. I got a bit of damage, managed to fight through. At least I didn't lose too much space, so I went third. But yeah, then I also ran out of fuel. The last lap, I had to change my engine mixture to safety car, and I ended the race with 0.3 liters of fuel left. So I underfueled a bit as well. Luckily, Timo was far behind, so I could. I was able to lose 6 seconds on the last lap just to coast to the finish line.
Wow, that's cutting it close. And Stanton, also a brilliant race meeting for yourself. I mean, the first race, you just didn't quite have the pace, but you were there. And obviously in the feature race, you were there, and with things happening around you, you managed to get your first victory. So congratulations on your first ever victory with us.
Thank you.
And an excellent second place overall. It's great for the team. Unfortunately, you're driving solo at the moment, but I think the team points, that should put you back to possibly second in the championship, although you're fighting against Genre for that. But great race overall. Talk us through it.
Let me first start by saying thank you, Dennis, again for hosting a lovely event this evening. Also, let me say congratulations to Genre there. Good racing today. Yeah, my race today, I was kind of lucky in the feature. In the sprint, it was a little bit unpredictable weather there, so we didn't know quite what to expect. It was really tricky on the slicks for the first couple of laps there, but then I just upped my traction a bit, and then I think the track started trying out. But yeah, just held on there, and then just managed to finish the race. Feature race, it was quite close between Jean-Andre, Chris and myself. It was a bit static there for a while. We tried to keep it exciting. Sorry guys, we tried to put some moves on each other, but we just couldn't get closer. The medium was a preferred tire today. I saw the track temp, but overall happy. For me, it was all about the points. I dropped 2 rounds, and I'm really ecstatic to come back. I'm fighting hard. Monza the next, so yeah, let's see if I can get back in there.
Great stuff. Then Genre, back to you. Your championship fight is now getting closer and closer, with Chris having a bad race, having lost a wheel in an incident with the back marker. I'm not too sure. I'll double check the points in a moment, but an excellent round for you and a terrible round for Chris. Your championship is coming down to the wire. We're heading over to Monza. How good are you at Monza? Are you confident that you can take the fight for the championship?
I don't think I'll be able to catch Jason. I think he's just too far ahead. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the league, I missed quite a few races with my disconnects, so I think I lost out on 4 races. So yeah, if it wasn't for that, I think I would have definitely been able to fight. Maybe I can still steal second from Chris. I'm not sure, but I'll try.
I'm going to just do the points now, just so we can see where we stand on the points, because I want to know, and I'm sure the viewers want to know.
Yeah.
So let me add the points. And we see, but coming into this round, you were in 4th place on 271. Gerrit was 278. Chris on 320. So I think you should pass Chris because of Chris's bad result And Jason not racing in either race, possibly you might actually be able to, both yourself and Chris actually jump Jason. But let's see. I will let you all know. Oops, I actually just did the wrong result there. Let me do this again. Clear that one. So just doing this live, and I tend to make mistakes and do things like that. But we will have a confirmation any moment now. There's one added and the other. And we can see just what the points standings coming to the final round. I think the Porsches should be pretty competitive at Monza because the Porsche is, I think, the fastest car in the straight line by the looks of things.
Yeah,
So,
that Porsche is something else.
our driver standings, we have Jason on 367, Chris on 340, and Jean-Andre, you're up to third on 330. So you're 10 points shy of Chris.
Yeah.
And 37 points shy of Jason. So if Jason can't make the race, you could still win the championship. And it's just between 10 points between yourself and Chris then. And
Yeah.
Garrett is just on 318. And Stanton, you're up to fifth place on 258. So I don't think you could catch. You might catch Garrett, but I think you're going to be pretty stable for fifth place.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get some final words in for you, Jean-Andre.
Yeah, no, thanks to you. Thanks for hosting this event. It's quite fun. I didn't think I would like the GT3s this much, but I'm really enjoying it. And thanks for everything you do for us.
Always a pleasure. And Stanton, any final words from your side?
For me, mate, let me first start. Chris, mate, unlucky there. Really unlucky. We really were going on top there, but then unfortunate incident there. But anyway, that's how racing works. Once again, Dennis, thank you for hosting. Good racing out there. For me, it's just about salvaging points now and obviously keeping it clean. So yeah, on to Monza.
Also, we're going into the Porsche Cup after this, so you're going out on a bang as the series ends. So it's a good momentum booster for your confidence as well. If you're starting to come into form now, you get your first victory. So you're obviously very keen on the Porsche Cup. So you drive a Porsche now. Your team is heavily in the Porsche series. So I think that's going to be good.
Yeah, we actually had a couple of endurance races, 8 hours of a derby before we coming into the series. So yeah, we did quite a few races with that car already. So yeah, it's quite good, fun to drive. So yeah, looking forward to the Porsche Cup season coming up.
All right, great stuff. And sorry that Timo couldn't make it, but to those that wanted to hear from Timo, you just have to wait till the next round. But until then, we're going to head out. I'm going to say goodbye to our drivers. I'm just going to kick you guys out. So thank you guys, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right, so our drivers are gone. Of course, we now head into the final round of the season, which is the Monza Grand Prix circuit. So fastest track on the calendar, which I think will possibly play into the Porsche's hands because it's a faster car. It's got a little bit extra on the top end. It rotates nicely, so I think the circuit should suit the Porsches. So we might see the Porsches doing well. Maybe Adrian will be back, so he'll be challenging at the front end as well. Not sure what's going to happen then with Jason, if Jason is going to maybe have his other commitments. Hopefully he can make it because then he can defend his title. Well, it's not his title, it's his title on the line. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Jason can't make it. Maybe the Corvette is good, so maybe Timo gets his first victory of the season. Maybe Stanton can challenge for another. Maybe Adrian will then be challenging. So all to play for. It's very, very close in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. The Team Championship is wrapped up already. So we know Team Harder Racing have now won the Team Championship. Who's second, who's third, that's all up for grabs. So it's all to play for. So hopefully we'll see you all then. And remember to hit the like and subscribe. And we'll see you all next week. Until then, have a great week.